Good afternoon, everybody. So 4 years ago, I got a call from a friend at the World Bank. And he asked me to go to Sudan. One of the projects he was responsible for wasn't going very well. Basically, been around for 2 years, not much happening. So he said, Nadim, can you go and introduce the idea of 100-day projects, rapid results initiatives into this effort? So flew to Sudan, and colleagues of mine and I worked with 12 communities to get them started on their own 100-day projects. This was water, health, education. We'll come back to that. 100 days after that, we're back in Sudan to assist in the 100-day review of these projects and these teams in these 12 communities. So driving in Sudan to a village called Taruba in a state called South Kordofan, very remote area. We get to a bridge, and the car stops. 1/3 of the bridge did not exist. So basically, we're on the first part of the bridge, probably a 20-foot gap, and then the second part of the bridge. So I asked my Sudanese colleagues, what's the plan? So one of them said, listen, we have two options we're considering. Option one is we're going to back up the car and then go really, really, really fast to see if we can go to the other side. And option two is we can go through the river underneath, but we're not quite sure how deep it is. I voted actually for option two, and we did cross the river and get to the other side without completely submerging the car, and finally got, after a few hours, to Taruba. Now, the project that had began 100 days later in Taruba was about education. They wanted, and they decided, to actually build a new school in 100 days and to increase attendance rates in the school by 30%. That was their choice. They achieved both goals. In fact, let me just show you the school that they built in 100 days. And they told us a lot of stories about the journey that they were on for the past 100 days. I'll just share with you one anecdote. 30 days into this effort, the contractor said, there is no way we're going to be able to finish this school on time. You know, the brick production is not happening, you know, as we had anticipated. The brick production, actually, they bake the bricks there, and the community is responsible for that. So we're going to be a month or two late. The team, the Rapid Results team, the local team in Taruba, got together, and they decided to start a competition in Taruba. What they did is they divided the community into 4 sectors and gave each one a target for brick production. And within 4 weeks, they doubled the production rate of bricks. So they were back on schedule within 4 weeks. Now, I saw a structure in the schoolyard that wasn't quite congruent with the school. So I asked one of the team members, you know, what do you use this for? So he said, this is the Taruba school 100 days ago. Similar results in the other 11 communities. In fact, we have seen the same type of dramatic performance happen in several countries, in sub-Saharan Africa, in several sectors. What is going on here? I mean, what enables this? What's the magic in getting these sorts of things done? Rapid results work, this work, is about unleashing local capabilities. Let me repeat that. Unleashing. We're not talking about developing, building, unleashing local capabilities. And this notion of unleashing capability is something that we don't pay enough attention to in development work, and I don't think we pay enough attention to it in charity work in general. So, what does it take to unleash this capability? There are probably many levers out there. We're beginning to scratch the surface of what it takes to actually do that, even though we've been at this for several years. And I'll just mention 3 levers that we have found to be useful. First is nudging a team to commit itself to short-term, unreasonable goals. You know, we've all heard about achievable, reasonable. We're talking unreasonable goals. In fact, that's part of the magic of the 100 days. Second, local coach. First thing we did in Sudan is we trained local resources in each community to provide coaching support to the teams that were running in the 100 days. When you commit yourself to unreasonable goals, you will encounter obstacles. And the natural tendency is to actually retreat and give up. The local coach nudges the team to keep moving forward. It's a little bit like what we heard this morning with the KIPP schools. It is building grit into the process, sticking with it. That's the local coach. And the third lever is setting up competitions. So in the case of Tarouba, the competition was inside the community when they got behind, but actually the Tarouba team itself was competing with the other 11 communities in Sudan, and what we found is implicitly the teams in Sudan, these rapid results teams, felt like they were competing with the rapid results teams that had gone before them in other countries in Africa and elsewhere. So 3 levers out of many that enable this capacity to be unleashed. And my hunch is that this is not just about Tarouba and Sudan. This probably applies equally here in New York. Now, one word, and I'm over time here, but one word on what happens after the 100 days. Does this work, these results, can they sustain? Yes, they can if we focus, again, on unleashing local capability. I will mention just a little anecdote. I think Ari mentioned the New York Times in his opening. Tina Rosenberg at the Times a few weeks ago wrote 2 articles about this work, and she mentioned Tarouba in one of these articles. So a week after that, we got an email from Mustafa in Tarouba, and I'd like to read parts of that email to you. So RRI means Rapid Results Initiatives. That's what I think Mustafa meant. Although it started in 2007, but still it is working in old and new communities as the same. Tarouba Basic School attracted school leavers, he means people that didn't stick with the school, to come back studying, and Jum'a Mukhtar is a good example. He finished his secondary school examinations and passed his exams, and succeeded, waiting to attend the university. Thank you.
This conference has been absolutely amazing.
Everything was just wonderful for me. I enjoyed it so much.
Far exceeded my expectations.
The speakers were incredible. The other people that I met just networking were really inspiring.
It's very exciting.
I think it's very innovative.
I thought it was great.
Learned a lot and look forward to coming back and bringing a lot of other people with me next year.
I've come all the way from the UK to attend the NextGen.Charity conference.
The NextGen.Charity conference has been really awesome to come together with other people in the field and kind of talk about the changing landscape.
I think the highlight for me was not so much a particular speaker, but the full range of different speakers and the fact that they were quite provocative. They were asking people to go a little bit further than normal. It wasn't people sharing the results and their ideas on how to keep moving the wheel a little bit. They were really asking people to push and break the mold. And sometimes that can be hot air. These guys had actually walked the talk.
They've really brought together a bunch of different ideas and different types of nonprofit challenges all into one.
I'm just very excited by the possibilities that I've seen here.
Authors of books that I have read, now they're up there speaking right to me. I felt like they were speaking right to me and my organization and how they could help, me personally.
If anybody's thinking about coming to this conference, they're going to learn a lot and take away a lot of encouragement and very practical principles.
I think the conference has been excellent. I think it's very inspiring. I think it's very well done. I think it's very professionally run.
I think this conference It's bringing together a lot of creative people who need to talk to each other and share ideas and stay inspired.
So far the conference has been awesome. It's been extremely interesting.
Seth Godin summarized it well. It's about people taking the ideas and acting on them when they go back to work on Monday morning.
The conference is great. It's an opportunity to meet a lot of really interesting individuals who have accomplished a lot.
They had a high caliber of speakers, you know, people who know what they're talking about, who've been in the industry for a while, and who are actually seeing where the trends are heading and where we're leading. So I think it definitely was worth the investment and the travel from Georgia to get here.
It was fantastic.
I would definitely recommend it for someone who's getting going in this field and wants to make a difference.
So I would really recommend this to any organization that was trying to take a really good outside look at themselves and kind of maybe think anew about how they're structured and how they're achieving their mission.
The roster of speakers was really excellent, and there were a lot of people who I wanted to hear their story and how they got where they got and where they're going.
And I really think it kind of evokes the TED conference and the TED Talks, where you're getting this stellar lineup of thinkers and innovators to come and share everything from very quirky stories about how they got their start to how they're doing business every day and the very important lessons that they're learning that are really applicable.
It just was such a wonderful experience. And it was everything I was hoping and plus a whole lot more.